Hi, everybody. This is Lee, and I'm talking about Jill Stein's recount efforts again. Jill Stein has written an article in the USA Today, the opinion piece. It's Why the Recount Matters. And I'm glad Jill Stein did that because there's been so much discussion from other people, the election experts who were writing stories about what motivated them and what they hoped to achieve. That sounded disturbing enough about the agenda behind the recount that it caused a lot of disturbance in the atmosphere. Jill Stein is clarifying her true intentions behind the recount, and these are her own words, not from anyone on her team, not from another member of the Green Party, not a member of any of her electoral opponents. This is Jill Stein herself speaking on what she hopes to achieve with the recount. I'll post a link to the USA Today opinion piece in the description. It leads directly back to the Jill Stein for President website, jill2016.com. So this is Jill Stein in her own words about her reasons and motivations for the recount effort. Our electoral system is under threat. There is nothing more important to our American way of life than our democracy. The lifeblood of this nation is the principle that each citizen's vote is equal when it comes to choosing our president. But in the age of computerized voting machines and unprecedented corporate influence in our elections, our electoral system is under increasing threat. How can every citizen's voice be heard if we do not know if every citizen's vote is counted correctly? To help ensure it is, I have asked for a recount of the 2016 presidential election in Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. Our goal is not to change the result of the election. It is to ensure the integrity and accuracy of the vote. All Americans, regardless of party, deserve to know that this and every election is fair and that the vote is verified. There have been concerns across all political parties about voter irregularities in 2016. Sophisticated hackers targeted the voter registration systems of 20 states and successfully penetrated Illinois' system. Such incidents are raising serious questions about the vulnerability of our voting data. Worries over the security of touchscreen machines are so serious that several states like California, Maryland, and Virginia have banned them or are phasing them out. Indeed, every threat is not a malicious one. Like any other technology, voting machines suffer from glitches and make mistakes. In 2004, for instance, it was only after a recount that news emerged that 90,000 votes were not counted by scanners because the machines were not properly calibrated, and that was just one county in Ohio. After speaking with cybersecurity and election experts and advocates, I chose to pursue recounts in Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania because they provide the best way to verify the vote in this election. All three have razor-thin margins, potentially vulnerable voting systems, and were the source of heightened concern over irregularities. I am both humbled and galvanized by the outpouring of support these efforts have achieved or received. Our recount campaign has raised more than 6.5 million towards a goal of 9.5 million to cover the recount costs. The funds have come from nearly 140,000 people with an average donation of $46. The recounts Americans across the country are calling for will help restore confidence in our elections and trust in our democracy. They'll also point the way to reforms that safeguard that trust. Jill Stein ran for president on the Green Party ticket. So that's Jill Stein's article, her opinion piece for the USA Today. You can find the text on her Jill2016.com website. I did want to note that another way to get up-to-date information from Jill Stein is, of course, her Facebook page. Ajamu Baraka also has a Facebook, which I visited recently, and in it he seems to have alternative focus now. His main focus is not the recount for his own reasons, he said. He's focusing his attention back on social movements, human justice, things that he's dedicated his whole life to. So there seems to be different opinions from the election efforts and the election lawyers. Between them, Ajamu Baraka, some members of the Green Party who have voiced different opinions of their view of the recount and how it's perceived. We can quarterback, of course. Hindsight is always 20/20 vision. I do feel that at least an appearance of nonpartisanship would have greatly assisted in perception of the integrity of the recount. It would not have been called into question as much or as often if there had been at least an appearance of equality in choosing the states to recount. The election experts pointed towards Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Michigan. And then some of these experts actually wrote articles expressing the intention or motivation, we'll say, perhaps an agenda to overturn the Electoral College. And they did not help the cause at all with these statements. Naturally, it caused some degree of upset within the electorate. And it's very good that Jill Stein has gone out of her way to speak for herself and her motivations and her reasons for calling for the recount and soliciting donations for the recount. I think if she continues to speak out, she will continue to redirect the conversation away from partisanship and the dark cloud it kind of cast of the recount efforts. And maybe then there will be more focus from people who are watching the recount with some degree of hope for voting reform, like getting rid of the machines, hand counting, paper ballots, exit polling for every state. There are at least 15 states, I believe, that use machines that have no ability to audit how the votes were cast and what people intended with their vote. So, things like this, any reforms that come and develop from the recount effort, I feel are a benefit for future elections. We have elections coming right around the corner. Some will take place in 2017, but a great deal would take place in 2018. 435 House seats come open, about 30 Senate seats, and some governorships, and many other down ballot positions. If we can get these reforms in place prior to 2018, I do believe the recount effort is sincerely worth it. But again, with the messaging, definitely Jill Stein will have to continue to be the focus and express herself rather than allowing someone to speak on her behalf and introducing agendas that were never meant to be included in her recount effort. Good luck.